Hello there, folks. If you happen to have a analog camcorder, which I have right now in my hand, I have one here right now in my hand, and what I want to do is I want to transfer the data that's on the that's on the that's on the 8mm tapes that comes with this particular camcorder. 8mm tapes that gets used with this particular analog camcorder, and you're looking for a capture card in order to transfer this data into a PC, not a laptop. We're talking about a PC here. What you would need is some kind of capture device in order to work in conjunction with this camcorder, or with a analog camcorder. Now we're talking about analog camcorders that actually have this particular audio and video out plug here. Now some analog camcorders actually have S-video out. Now for this particular model, which is a Samsung camcorder, the only output that it has is the audio video, which is the AV out. So basically this is the cable that I would be using. Just 1 second please, sorry about that. Yeah, this would be the cable that I would be using, or the wires that I would be using in this case. Okay, and obviously I would put this into here, and both these, these ends would actually go into some kind of capture card. Now what I've done is I've actually tried a few different capture cards, and I'll show you both of them. Let me just put this to one side. I've used a USB version. I'll be able to show you that right now. This is one of them that I've used. So basically with the USB, it's a USB pluggable version. Now this goes into the back of a desktop computer or laptop computer. Okay, and this is where the capturing actually takes place, within this unit here. Okay, and as for this side here, obviously because my camcorder, which I showed you just earlier on, supports this form of wiring, this would be compatible with this. So basically my yellows would go into yellow and my white would go into here, and I would be able to ignore, you know, the red and the S-video. Now the reason why this comes with S-video as well, which is here, it comes with S-video in case, you know, the camcorder that you're using does actually has an S-video port on it. Now in the case of my camcorder, it doesn't have that. It only has the one I showed you earlier on, which is this one here. So now this particular device does not really get power. It does not get a great amount of power in order to transfer the data over, or the footage over. from the disk when you play back the camcorder, so you can't really transfer the data over effectively using this dongle or this capture device. So what I did was I ignored using this any longer because I didn't find it really helpful in order to complete the task, and I went for something different. So I'll put that to one side, and I actually went for a PCI Express capture card. Now it doesn't really matter what make or model of capture card you get, as long as you get a video capture card. As long as you get a capture card that that has the connections for your wire, for your cable that comes from your camcorder, and it works, and you have the ports available on the capture card. So this particular capture card, in a nutshell, is a PCI Express that I've just mentioned. It's a PCI Express, and basically, as long as you've got a port slot, a PCI Express port slot on your desktop PC, if you are using your desktop PC. Now, obviously, be careful when handling these cards. Try not to touch all the chips, all the electronic circuitry, and just try and hold it gently from this, from the top end. Now, if you can see here, obviously this slots into the PCI Express one slot, PCI Express 1 slot, which is the smallest PCI Express slot on a modern on a modern motherboard on a computer. Obviously, the reason why I chose this was so that it can work. I would be able to capture analog data, and as you can see here, the top port here, this will use the S-video, which I mentioned. If I did have S-video on the camcorder, I'd be able to use this as an option. But in my case, I'm not using this. I'm using the AV, audio video connections that comes from the cable from my camcorder, which is the yellow and the white. The yellow and the white. So basically, I'll be able to use these two. Now, obviously, when this capture card is actually installed into the PC, it gets its power directly from when the PC starts up. So in that case, it's generating enough power, and because it's generating enough power, it will support the transfer of the video footage from the camcorder into the PC. So it's a lot better than using a USB card, because basically you are utilizing a slot on the motherboard, and you are getting enough power to transfer the analog footage into and digitize the analog video footage into a digitized format. So this would work. A PCI Express card would work more effectively than a USB capture device. And briefly, for this particular capture card, I'll just read it. It says here: capture, convert and digitize all your analog video sources. This particular Express card allows you to capture and digitize video and still images of various analog sources via S-video and composite or composite connection. So if you are using the AV or the composite connections, if you are using the composite connections, which I should say, because that's the name that they use, the formal name that they use, which is composite connections. Composite connections would be these are composite connections. With some cabling, you actually get sometimes you get this. Sometimes you get 1, 2, 3. You get 3 composite cables. Okay, so in our case, on this particular analog camcorder, we've got the yellow and the white. Okay, and on this one here, we've got the yellow and the white, but we've also got the red as an additional connection. Now, just before I end this video, I just want to say that the reason why you would buy a specialized capture card, you would only buy a specialized capture card to meet a specialized camcorder. So in my case, I have an analog camcorder which uses composite connections in order to transfer the video footage from the tapes directly to the PC. And that was the aim, really. The aim was to actually transfer the footage from these tapes. The tapes I'm using are 8mm tapes. Yeah, mostly 8mm tapes. Yeah, they're all 8mm HS90 tapes, and ultimately the idea is to transfer the analog format of this film into a digitized video format. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. I would leave you with some information about this particular capture card that I've just mentioned, the analog one, and leave you the details of it. It's made by Ave Media, and it is an EZ Maker SDK Express, as you can see here. Flexible in capture and endurance, that's what it says there. See if we can get this a bit better. Sorry about this. Yeah, it captures, converts and digitizes all your analog video sources. I hope that's been helpful, and I'd like to thank you for viewing. Take care now. Bye.